Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more amazing casts from this Asian Championship in BSL Season 15. We are moving on to Group C, which comes after Group B, but is actually played before Group B. It's just a scheduling thing. Anyways, we had Group A finish up, Jeonhoon really dominating, Jedi looking fantastic. And honestly, Group C might be, overall, I think, the strongest group in this Asian Championship. In this particular group, we have, excuse me, Fengji. As you see here, this guy is one of the best Chinese Zergs, has been for a very long time. For like 10 years, he's been one of the very best, or even longer than that, honestly. I've known who this guy is forever. And he's going up against Rain, which is not the Korean Rain, not to be misunderstood for that, but I believe he's actually a pretty strong player. I think I've played him a little bit online, and yeah, he's not like someone who wins a bunch of tournaments in China, but I think he's pretty strong overall. Then there's also Bustarin, who some people may have seen the idea of. I believe he's actually reasonably high on the ladder. And then Zhuan, who did well in BSL last season, but in my personal opinion, I think he played pretty poorly. He did get far in BSL last season. Every game was basically a cheese from him, and I don't know. I'm not a fan. We'll see how he does in this group. But yeah, I think that it is overall probably, excuse me, likely the strongest group for the Asian Championship. So, our first map, like we saw before, this is Overwatch. We have Protoss in the bottom right, going for a Nexus first. Very tight build here, as you see. It is, I believe this is maybe Overpool for Fengji up here. I wasn't paying super close attention as I was kind of explaining the group. But yeah, he is going for those Lings. I think he's going to be held like exactly here. I'm fairly certain. The build we're seeing from Rain is actually something that the real Rain came up with. I believe, where you cut a few probes to get the Nexus first, and you go immediate Forge. But yeah, we'll see about this in a second. Now, this probe needs to slow the Lings a little bit. Notice how he gets ahead of them, and you'll see him kind of stop a little bit and like get in their way, especially right here. This is a very important little location. Watch. Oh no, he's not going to slow him at all. Okay. Okay, he whips back a little bit there. Normally what you do is you hit stop, you wait for one attack, and then you move forward. That type of thing. It can slow them a little bit. Now, oh my god. Like, let's be more dangerous. Could we, Rain? My god. Okay, so this is kind of insane right now. A lot of probes are starting to go down. Decent probe micro. I think he actually sent the probes a little bit late, and I think he also could have stalled for another second or two with his probe in the center. So these Lings can't get up the ramp. They're kind of stuck here. They can guard these patches for now. And it's a fair amount of lost probes, honestly. I think Fengji is actually probably happy with this. Oh, you can't be losing that. Okay, he does save it. He actually has too many probes down here as well. If you're going to have this many, I think you should just drill to the gas and kill these. Okay, good micro, good micro. The probes do have longer range than the Lings. Oh, loses another. Okay, gets one. Oh, good micro here from Fengji. Yeah. So, honestly, I think the build from Rain wasn't bad, and I think he was just like, you need your probes down here before the Lings are there, right? The Lings and probes engage like here. If the probes had been in a better line in front of the cannons, I think that it could have been a much better engagement. He could have zoned them off a bit better. I think there was possibilities to slow the Lings just slightly as well, but it was good execution from Fengji. And I would definitely say he's a bit ahead, which is too bad. Because if you block with Nexus first just right, which it can be done, then that is fantastic, for Protoss. Now, one thing to mention here, these cannons were placed in a very anti-Ling rush location. And the reason they're way back here is because they cover the whole Nexus, and they cover the ramp. Because if you don't do that, then the Lings just go up in the main base, and you're basically going to lose the game. So it was smart for him to place these here, but these are useless against a Hydra Bust. right? Like, that's going to be something that could be an issue for him, but we can see it's not a Hydra bust. Fengji is actually just going directly up into Spire. He is getting that Zergling speed, which, you know, I've mentioned plenty of times, oftentimes points towards Mutalisk tech. Yes, we see the Spire, but there's two different things you can do with the Spire, right? You can do Mutalisk tech, or you can just make, like, 4 Scourge to keep Corsairs away from you and keep scouting intel low and go into Hydras, which actually, I think is still slightly more popular, but the Mutas have gained popularity over the last year or two. Okay, so back at home, Rain getting his Stargate. Feelings in here. Oh, man, look how far back those cannons are. Seriously, that is so annoying. That is so annoying. So he can connect with 4. And just a little bit of micro there from Fengji. You're going to have to cancel this +1. You're not getting it. He is going to be able to kill off this Forge. Decent micro, honestly, from both sides. Okay, so, yeah, you're going to have to cancel it. Very, very painful. You have to rebuild the Forge as well. Oof. It feels like Fengji is, he's definitely outplaying him. Outplaying Rain, but the thing is, don't forget, Rain had those probes come down, and they were just, like, slightly late. So I don't want to judge Rain too much for this game right now. Even though this does look, like, very Fengji favored, and I would... Like, I mean, in my opinion, it is, right? Like, he's winning. It's not terrible, though. Like, it doesn't feel... I guess, let me put it this way. It doesn't feel like Rain is playing terribly here. It feels like he's playing pretty well. Things have gone wrong for him, but it's StarCraft, man. That's what this game is all about. Things going wrong and doing the best you can. All right, so the Mutas are coming out. This was a Mutalisk opener, kind of as expected. Don't forget that Forge died early. We have no cannon in the main. We have no cannon on this side of the minerals. These cannons block to about here. So a bit of an issue. Here come the Mutas. Oh, God. He can... Oh, just barely doesn't get it. Good pull away there from Rain. Pulls up a second Corsair as well. All right, Muta's diving in, hitting these patches over the side. Just goes for the Corsair. Wow, a lot of damage put down on that immediately. Rain does do the pullback. Rain has some good things going on for him, right? He's making some defensive cannons, which is nice. He's getting plenty of Corsairs. His +1 air attack has been going for a bit. He does have +1 restarted now. I mean, it's not a good position for him, but again, it does feel like he's actually, like he's doing the right things. He has a good idea of what needs to be done. Now Fengji coming down with some Scourge. Hydralisk speed is coming. We do have that transition on the way. Overlord speed as well. Good defense. Not losing too many probes. Like, he's on 41. It's not as many as you want right now, but that's okay. He has lost a few. What can you do? Temple Archives coming up. Looks like he's getting a macro pylon ready to put a bunch of gateways here. Definitely very gateway light, so it's going to be a little bit before Rain can actually put pressure on. The most pressure he can probably field is going to be Corsairs when he gets about 1 more or 2 more and +1 finishes. Once you have 5 Corsairs with +1, you can 2-shot a Scourge. So that's where you start to feel like you might be able to go out on the map with it. More Scourge flying out. So he is definitely aware of the Corsair possibility of a move out occurring. 6 Corsairs are out, 7th coming. That +1 is almost done on both ground and air. Maybe he can do something, right? Like, if he runs around the Zealots a little bit, forces the Mutas to come to defend, and then utilizes the Corsairs, that could be a good set of moves together here for Rain. That is a lot of Scourge, though. All right, he's going after the Overlord. The Overlord does have speed here. Okay, picks that off immediately. Now, this is scary. If he loses all these Corsairs, the game is basically over. Oh, boy. Okay, so that is highly problematic. I think he wasn't aware of exactly how many Scourge there really were out there. And it did feel like he had to do something. So I can't really blame Rain too much for this position, I think. But now the mutas are out, and it's like, okay, now you need a bunch of anti-air, because otherwise your High Templars can't walk out, and also even the Zods can be cleaned up. So there's a lot of issues right now for Rain. Definitely looks like a Fengji victory. You can see he's already ahead as far as supply. He's just barely behind in worker count. Rain trying to make something happen here. Tries to get DT up to the top right. Doesn't quite work. He does have a small group of Zealots over here. We don't see anywhere that he can actually infiltrate at the moment. Looks like he's bringing them back. He knows there's a rather large army here, maybe ready to pounce upon him. He does have 2 Psy Storms. Let's see if he can lure him in. Maybe get some good storms here on the Hydras. Okay, that's a good storm. Pulls back, though. Pulls back. A lot of damage on those Hydras. Are we going to see another? All right, he's just going to let the gate die. No reason overextending. Okay, that was a good storm as well. You know what? He has... I think as these goons come down, he actually has enough to kill all this. Yeah, Fengji pulls backward. An excellent pullback. Okay, I gotta say, like, already, this game is better than almost the entirety of Group A. Like, and the thing is, Fengji's pretty ahead. Like, he's playing really well. It feels like he's ahead. It looks like he's ahead. He is ahead. But I feel like Rain is making good moves. They both know exactly when they have what units they need. But Fengji's macro has kind of hit its stride. And Rain he was too hiccuped early on by the Zerglings. All right, the goons zoning out those Hydras a bit. Now, you can take a pretty defensive stance here, right? You've got these small ramps leading up to here. This is big and wide open, so you can't really stand here, but you can block this area. Like, I think you can't go down here. There is something that Zerg can do where they contain the bridge, which isn't hard at all. You can contain that with a very small amount of units. And then you contain up here. Oh, this is BSL. That's cool. But you can contain this high ground, this is something that we see this is a pretty common terrain feature, right? Like, we have exactly this above the third base on circuit breakers. There's a lot of maps that utilize something like this, a raised ground position. So when you start putting Lurker Hydra up here, it becomes incredibly hard for Protoss to break out. So just getting a contain like that makes most of the problems here just for Rain, and Fengji can kind of just hold on. Now, a little snipe comes in. He did up his Muta count to 11 and picks off 2 High Templars immediately. Things getting worse and worse here for Rain. Fengji with a lot of Hydras. You can see so many more coming down. Let's take a look at his bases. Really good macro. Going up to 8 hatches at the moment with 4 bases. And he is going to hit up here. Not that many units. I heard another High Templar die, unfortunately. And without the splash damage, like, this Nexus is definitely going to fall. Honestly, I think that's about game. Really excellently played by Fengji. Oh, huge storm right there. That was very, very nice. But again, you can't hold on to the Nexus. And as the Nexus dies and your army dies, there's nothing left. You can't just produce 8 gateway units at a time and beat Zerg from this position. It's impossible. So that should be that. Fengji, again, masterful, masterful play, but solid play from Rain overall. You know, considering how far behind he was, what a strong player he was against. I'm looking forward to game number 2. I think he can do a better job against Fengji if he doesn't get really far behind at the beginning of the game once again. So Fengji coming out. It looks like Rain is trying to make something happen, but I mean, he's just going to get splattered. There's just way, way, way too much here. As you can see, the Hydra's moving in absolutely everywhere. GG. Fengji wins game 1.